No one ever sees me, I'm losing every battle. No one ever sees me, I'm losing every battle. No one ever sees me, I'm losing every battle. Can somebody save me, I'm losing every battle.
Good morning, everyone. Hope you had a wonderful weekend. This is Faith James. I'm your host of the Brand Momentum Morning Show. Thank you for joining me. I am so excited to talk about this section of the book. So we're reading from Brendon Burchard's book, High Performance Habits. And the section that we're going to be discussing in practice 1 is called Honor the Struggle. Good morning, Brenda. I love it. I love it. You're totally getting it. Like, we have to share because there's so many people that are stuck, struggling, that need this help. Good morning, beautiful Renee, all the way from Austria. How are you, gorgeous? Are you ready for your Be on TV boot camp today? Good morning, beautiful Marion. Thank you for joining. Good morning, beautiful Deb. I love it. All the fab people are in the studio. Thank you guys for joining, and thank you for everybody who's sharing. Let's share the love. Now, honor the struggle. Let's read. Success is giving 100% of your effort, body, mind, and soul to the struggle. John Wooden. Now, if you are not somebody who's ever heard this notion of you have to not work too hard, because if you work too hard, you're not sort of in the right mindset, I want to have a discussion on this, because I too love to say I want my life to be easy and relaxed, but it's a different thing from flow. What we're saying is we want to be in flow, but we understand full well there will be struggle. There will be challenges. You know, you've probably heard me say this before, branding ain't easy. I say that because it's the truth. I say that because it is not my intention to hoodwink anybody into thinking building a brand and building a business and being the CEO of you and getting on the path to your entrepreneurial dream is easy. It is not. There will be challenges. There will be things that you come upon that you've never done before, that your brain isn't yet equipped to quickly sort out. So you understand and you come with that expectation to it. But the difference is when you're in flow, like I used the analogy before, you're at the top of a hill and you pour some water down a path. The water is going to flow down the hill and somebody put a big boulder, right, halfway down the path. the water is going to find a way around it, but the boulder is still there, right? The boulder doesn't see the water coming down and roll out of the way. It's like, ooh, we need to give them an easy path down the hill. The boulder is the boulder. The boulder just is. The water, which is in flow, finds a way around it. Let me know if that's landing with you guys, because it's so important that you understand this idea that everything should be like a box of chocolates is not the truth. It is not the truth. Jesus already gave us the first clue. In this life, you will have problems. Right? He didn't say in this life, it'll be easy and relaxed. Nothing will come up against you. In this life, you will have problems. But, he continues, be of good cheer, because I have overcome the world and everything in it. Right? Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. Does that sound easy and relaxed? Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. But it continues on. I will fear no evil. For thou art with me, thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. So we are going to go through some things. We're not meant to run away and shriek and hide from it. We're going to go through it. But we are well equipped. When we set up ourselves to be well equipped, we can handle it. I want to make sure you guys are understanding what I'm saying, and you're feeling the difference between, oh, my life is like a box of chocolates, no challenges, versus I am well equipped and able to overcome whatever presents. That's in flow, right? That's what's in flow. So we want to pray for flow. We want to wish for flow. We want to seek flow. We're not in magical thinking that everything is just going to be easy, because what that does is it sets you up for challenges. When you come across a problem, if you are not setting up yourself to be well equipped, then you get frustrated, then you throw up your hands, then you quit on your dreams, you quit on God. And then that's where really bad things happen, because now you're not living to the purpose of why you were created here on this earth in the first place. So he says, honor the struggle. Success is giving 100% of your effort, body, mind, and soul to the struggle. Let's read on. Why is it that so many people are clearly not living courageous lives? They know they should speak up for themselves, but they don't. They want to face their fears and take some risks, but they don't. They tell you they're going to be bolder, strive for greater dreams, help people in significant and noble ways, but they don't. Why? This was one of the most frustrating questions in my early coaching career. Many clients would talk about big vision and big dreams and wanting to live an exemplary life and make a difference, but they wouldn't do anything about it. They'd say they wanted a great life, but when we discussed new habits to get them there, they would often deflect, saying they were too busy or fearful. They would show me their vision boards from some seminar, and I would ask, so what are the top 3 big leaps you are going to make starting on Monday, now that you have these new vision boards? They usually lacked any sort of response or plan, never understanding that one act of courage is better than 100 vision boards. One act of courage is better than 100 vision boards. I'm sure you've been frustrated with others or even yourself about the inability to take bolder action. So what was the real problem and what was the solution? I've learned that the issue is really one of mindset. We're less courageous as a society today because we avoid struggle. And that decision leaves us with underdeveloped character and strength. Two key ingredients for courage. I'm going to read that again. We're less courageous as a society today because we avoid struggle. And that decision leaves us with underdeveloped character and strength. Underdeveloped character and strength. So you understand going to the gym. Yeah? Good morning, beautiful Facebook user. Who this is. Good morning, Melody. Thanks for joining, love. Right? We've all at some point in time or another in our life gone to a gym and dared to set up by the, what do you call that? The bench press thing, right? So you get on that bench and you're laying on your back and you've got the bar and you're going and you push and you're going and you push, right? This resistance when you're pushing up is building your muscle. When you are pushing up, does it feel like cupcakes? Of course, depending on the weights that you have. Does it feel easy breezy? Can you just jump underneath a 90-pound bar, 100-pound bar, and just do this? We're just skipping through the meadow, having a beautiful day. Anybody ever did that at the gym? I'm going to just gander a no. After 2, 3, you're like, right? Now you're in fire breathing mode, right? Tighten up that core, breathe through it. This bit here is not easy. It's not relaxed. You are exerting strength. You are building muscle. Just like he said, you are developing character and strength when you show up and face your challenges. But if you don't, if you run and hide, then that trait doesn't get developed. So it's actually underdeveloped, right? It's actually underdeveloped. And when you have anything that's underdeveloped, that means it's not to capacity. So under, right? So this is the normal state. It's either above average or it's below. This is the average. So the development that we're supposed to be attaining as humans, when you're not showing up and meeting your giants, you're underdeveloping your characteristics, your traits. King David became King David, great warrior, because he had a Goliath in his life. If he hadn't mounted up on wings like an eagle and run into battle against Goliath, he would not have been prepared. He would have not had the recognition. Then he was sent out on Lord knows how many missions when Saul was like, oh, I need 200 scalps, then I'll give you my daughter to marry. He went out, killed 200, maybe it's even more, came back, did it, right? So that set him on a path to develop his, king warriorness that was in him that propelled him to the throne. Yes? Otherwise, where would David have been? If he didn't show up, if he didn't look that uncircumcised Philistine in the eye and say, no, not today. Today, we're going to feed your head to the birds of the air. If he didn't show up to meet that moment, if he didn't show up to fight Goliath, somebody tell me, what would David's life be? Where would David be? Let me look here. Good morning, Bonita. Okay, you're still, I'm so sorry, honey. You're still dealing with frozen pipes. Good morning, beautiful Dora. David would still be in the meadow, in the fields, taking care of his few sheep, right? That's how his brother disrespected him when he first showed up to the campsite. He was like, "What are you doing here? And who's taking care of your few sheep?" Right? Disrespecting. That's just to show you, to illustrate how diminutive in his brand perception, right, he was at the time. They were like, "Oh, your few sheep," because he could have just said out, who's watching your sheep? He didn't have to call him out his name and say your few sheep. But that was just to show you where David was in that moment. But he met the moment. He showed up. He fought Goliath, and then battle after battle after battle, right? Bench press after bench press after bench press. After a while, now you show up to the gun show and people are like, "Ooh, look at those arms," right? So to say it's easy and it's relaxed is the wrong way to think about it. We shouldn't run from struggle. We need to be like David and run into it. In the Bible, it tells you they didn't just say, "Oh, he went and fought Goliath." He ran toward Goliath, ran toward him. I mean, come on now, somebody. Ran. The giant was like 9 feet, big and huge, massive, linebacker, double, little shepherd boy, ran. So we have to honor the struggle, as Brendon Burchard says, because it's what develops character. Because you're having an event, Melody, and the flowers were supposed to be 50. They only brought 10. Now you're going to develop your crisis skills. Now you're going to have to develop your negotiation skills, because now you need to get on the phone with either the same company or a different company to say, "I need 40 orchids stacked," right? Now you're going to have to develop your influence muscle to have a company that is not your client, never heard of you before, say, "Yes, absolutely. We have a cousin company that has daffodils. Will those do?" You're developing all of the requirements for your greatness, all of the requirements for your success. So we must never run away from challenges. Do not delude yourself into thinking life is going to be easy. Life is not just like a box of chocolates. What we need to be focused on, as Jim Rohn always says, don't wish for it to be easier, wish for you to be better. Because the easy is not ours to create and the easy is not coming. Jesus already said, and listen, I just go by that. In this life, you will have problems. Nobody needs to tell me anything else. So when I was invited to create the Brand Accelerator course on AppSumo, right, because that's a huge deal to get on there as a course creator. They're a massive, massive global brand. And he was like, "Yeah, we need to get this up by like sometime around Thanksgiving." Now, I never created an online course that had codes that had to be integrated into, right? That had to tie into their system, right? It's not just, "Oh, it's my own thing. I can set it up how I want." It needs to work within their system. It needs to tie back so that the codes automatically get triggered and uploaded to their system, so they know how many codes people on their platforms have. Listen, 2 a.m. in the morning, I was on a Zoom call with a Pakistani from Fiverr to get help. So exactly what Melody says, the resourcefulness. because I could either throw my hands up, cry, get frustrated. Oh, this is so hard. Why do they have to make it so hard? Why can't they just like send people to my? That's not where we are, ma'am, right? It needs to be tied into our system. So I could have cried and gotten frustrated and missed my moment to become a course creator on AppSumo because it was hard. I didn't honor. I said, you know what? Nope. Somebody knows this stuff. I mean, there was one software called Postman. I never, you know, guys know me. I'm pretty tech for not being a tech person. Never heard of Postman. Never heard of it before. I was like, what? I was like, nope, we're going to get another Pakistani from Fiverr who knows this stuff, who's going to do it. 2 a.m. in the morning on a Zoom, video Zoom, not just like, right? So to show up and explain to him what it is that I'm trying to do, it was not easy, but I was in flow because I knew full well what it meant for me, for my agency to be on the AppSumo platform. It is what I have been so desirous of, to expand my brand internationally. So I knew, right? This was going to get done. Remember, I always talk about decide. Decide, the root word of decide, iside, means death. I had killed off all other options. There was no other option except the course was going to be going live. We're just going to figure it out. But it's never a throw up your hand and cry. If you find yourself doing that, I want you to take a deep breath and reaffirm your why. Hear my voice in your ear saying, this is not about you. It's never been about you. These gifts and talents that you have are not yours to keep. So be like the water that's flowing down the hill. There is a boulder in the path. The water does this and keeps it moving. But we must honor the struggle. Let's not delude ourselves. Let's not get into, as my mentor David says, magical thinking. The difference between easy and flow. What I'm talking about is I want everybody to get into flow. Okay. So one of the quotes he has here, or highlighted point, he says, if we keep telling people to do what's easy, why would they ever think to do what's hard? So becoming, I saw on, there was a TikTok video this morning, I forget her name now, but there was this young lady, she was like doing her little TikTok moves, like how she became a doctor. And she, you know, she got her bachelor's in chemistry and she did this and she went to Howard. And any of you guys who've been to university know that studying any area of learning requires discipline and rigor and sacrifice. It's not a skip in the park to go take an AP chemistry test. For those of you who know what I'm talking about. Yes, absolutely. Wherever you find yourself challenged, feeling mad, frustrated, that is your signal. This area right here is where your next growth opportunity is. It is your opportunity for growth. It is God universe saying to you, okay, this is where you need to grow next. Don't get mad. Just get resolved and say, okay, good. Thanks for the heads up. But we can't cover our ears, can't put our head in the sand and just say, oh my God, this is too hard. Why is it so hard? Why can't it be easy? Because God said so. In this life, you will have problems. He already told you. So we're pretending like we don't already know that. And we're looking for somebody else to come give us a different word. There is no other word. You already got the word. Okay. So let's see. Okay. Continuing. Here's what I mean. We're at a unique time in history when more countries and communities have greater abundance than ever before. But in such blessings, there can be a curse. People can become resistant to struggle. Today, making any recommendations that would require real effort, trial, difficulty, or patient Persistence is out of fashion. Ease and convenience reign. People often quit marriages, schools, jobs, and friendships at the first sign of difficulty, like the sharks. And for that reason, I'm out. If you quit at the first sign of difficulty in your everyday life, what are the odds you'll persist in the face of real fear or threat? If we're ever going to develop the strength that courage requires, we'll have to get better at dealing with life's basic challenges. We'll have to stop getting so annoyed and start seeing the struggle as part of growing our character. We must learn to honor the struggle. Unfortunately, struggle is a hard sell. In my industry, for example, I'm constantly told to make my advice and curriculum less complex and rigorous and more appealing. So these are the colleagues that Brendon Burchard is talking about now. Don't make them work, they say. Don't give them too many steps that's hard, Brendon, because they won't implement them. Dumb it down. Make it easy. Make sure it's digestible for a sixth grader. People don't want to try. Just give them easy things to do. I was told each of these things while writing this book. The presupposition is that in these statements is that people are lazy, hate challenge, and will trade growth for discomfort and certainty. Consider how often we are sold this assumption. In the general media world, especially, every tip and hack is framed so that it's making life super easy because you'll feel better and serve better. No need to suffer through facing your shortcomings. That would be uncomfortable and not worth the effort. Outsource everything because there's no value in learning real skills. Hack your diet with the magical pill so you don't have to change your horrible eating patterns. We're surrounded by memes and media and influencers telling us we're not supposed to struggle, that life should be an easy flow, or we're on the wrong track. Imagine what that's doing to our abilities. Imagine what it's doing to our odds of ever taking courageous action. If we keep telling people to do what's easy, why would they ever do what's hard? The good news is, I think people worldwide are discovering that all these quick fixes, hacks, silver bullets aren't enough. People are beginning to remember something they already knew. To achieve excellence requires hard work, discipline, routines that become boring, the continual frustrations that accompany learning, adversities that test every measure of our heart and soul, and above all, courage. I hope the research in this book has helped you discover a bigger picture that high performance requires real intention and mastering of complex habits. The practices here are doable, but they will still require focus, struggle, and faithful diligence over the long haul. I'm sure older generations could tell us about the time when struggle wasn't something to be avoided. They knew that living a comfortable life, free of all difficulty and all passion, was never the goal. They didn't expect to have a smooth ride. They would tell us that toil and struggle are the fire in which we forge character. They championed the idea of getting dirt under their fingernails, working harder than anyone would expect, striving for a dream with a fierce tenacity, even in the face of hardship, because those efforts made you a better, more capable human being. Meeting struggle with poise and dignity got you respect. It made you a leader. So I'm going to wrap us here with the reading, but I want to have a discussion with you. Absolutely, Dora. And I don't know when. Well, he says it, right? You know, in today's day and age, there's so much complacency. There's so much entitlement. There's so much privilege. It's like, give it to me now. I want it now, and I want it now. I remember I was on a flight many years ago. I forget, I was on a business trip. So this is when I was not being the CEO of me. And I was traveling to where I was going, client meeting or something like that. And there was a person on the plane complaining, mad as all get out, that the go-go Wi-Fi was not working. Now, we're on a plane, 37,000 feet in the air. To have Wi-Fi to be connected to the rest of the world while you're flying, it's a privilege, right? Before, what would we do? Pull out, who's with me? You get in your seat, you sit down, you pull out the magazine, the airplane magazine. And if you didn't have your own magazine, that you look forward to that. If you didn't have a book with you, you look forward to that. Pull out the airplane magazine and start to reading. Right? So I'm not saying we shouldn't be in advancement, but we have to just rest in gratitude. We have to rest in a place of humility that, Lord forbid, the go-go Wi-Fi is out. Don't forget, you're on a plane, 35,000 feet in the air. There wasn't any go-go Wi-Fi in the front. What would you do? This is what I would say. Well, what would you do? What would you do? Just go with the flow. Okay, it's not. What are you gonna do? You're gonna like jump in the cockpit or in the underneath the plane and go fix it? They don't have the means to fix it right now. But so sometimes we get so caught up in the wrong things. My favorite retort when somebody's either telling me like they're oh, please don't let one of my nieces or one of my boys tell me, oh, I'm bored. Oh, my quick retort is go read a book. Shout out to all of my fellow authors. Go read a book. Exactly. Or just exactly, Renee, or just relax. Relax. Take some me time. Take some time to go get connected within yourself. I love it. Yes, the harder the climb, the greater the feeling of the accomplishment. And so, yeah, I mean, so for me, right, that was like a huge hard climb, thinking, oh my gosh, because in the back of my mind, I was thinking, okay, I don't have the technical know-how on my own to get these codes and all of these things done. And I watched, they sent over a video of how to get this thing done. Guys, I promise you, I felt like I watched that video 100 times. And I'm pausing it and I'm looking at the screen and what does he have it? And I'm looking at, and then I just had to recognize this is above my pay grade. This is above my pay grade, and I needed to go find somebody to help. But you get resourceful, because I could be frustrated. I could be crying in my milk, and then why this so hard? Why do I have to make this so hard? That's their process. You want your course on AppSumo? That's how they roll, right? But just to remember too, right? We have free will. So if it's too hard, you don't have the ability, the wherewithal, the desire to figure it out, then guess what? No AppSumo course for you. That's it. So we have to decide, what is the greater need? What is a greater desire? What is a greater purpose? What do we want? I shared with you guys that when I signed up for that mentor, the $1 Million Morning Mastermind program, it's now a year-long program that I'm in. One of the things I was doing was just like, I was like literally getting up. So back then, let's see, it was 9:30 a.m. on Zoom. I would just get up 8:30, right? Get to the bathroom, do my things, get ready, get coffee, take my vitamins, and just sit in the chair just in time. Zoom starts. But something happened. And this is why I say, don't be circling the drain by yourself. You want to stay in community. You want to stay, as Melody loves to say, you want to stay around a campfire so you can get support and guidance and learn. Something shifted for me. Something shifts for you when you're in a Zoom room looking at a multimillionaire who used to drive a forklift an hour to work each way and was a $40,000 a year forklift driver, who's now sitting there telling you that he's got a dog manager for his dog. Like, the only thing he does with his dog is he plays with his dog. He has somebody that feeds his dog, somebody that got a house manager. So his time is just dedicated to his clients and, of course, his own personal, life. I'm sorry. Wait, what now? You said you used to drive a forklift and you had to drive an hour to get to work, and now you're in some undisclosed location with your fab, God knows how tall coffered ceiling, and you have a house manager and you have a dog manager. Let me come closer to this campfire. So even as much as I'm doing the work to stay coachable and get under mentorship, is why I say to you guys, I salute you for coming every morning at 10. Because if that's all you can do right now, that's wonderful. You're taking inspired action. You're being decided and you're being resolved. You know that there is work to do. Some people say, oh, yes, thanks, Renee. Yes. Dora, I don't have the patience. Listen, God's still doing a work on me. I do not have the room nor the patience for the people with the entitlement. I just don't. And I was saying to my husband the other day, I said, I think maybe because I come from a third world country, I think because, born in Jamaica, it was like you had to show up and do your work. We understood that full well, and so there were times when, just because it wasn't like there was any storm or anything, it's just blackout. Melody will know what I'm talking about. Power company will just be like, oh, blackout for a few hours, and you just roll with, just deal with it. Go outside and play. Go for a walk down in the neighborhood. So I don't come from privilege. I don't come from entitlement. I come from work. I come from make a plan, do it, make another plan, do that other plan. Yeah, so the entitlement, I've no space for it. Don't. Listen, I'm the quickest one to quote Anne Frank, who was hiding in a basement with her family for 2 years, hiding from Nazi Germany. And people are complaining, oh, they're socially distant. They can't go see their friends. They can't go hang out with Good Time Tina and go get dirty martinis at the Breakers. They're mad. Don't, please. I'm the wrong girl. I'm the wrong girl to come. That pity party will not be hosted at my place. Yeah, so definitely need the reality check on that. Yeah, it's like you just have to know where you know where you need help, and be okay. Jesus says you have not because you ask not. Understand where you need help and go get it. Right, Melly? So this idea of everything needs to be easy and relaxed and everything needs to be fun and skipping through, I want to reframe that for you, because I think it's setting a lot of people up for challenges. There will be easy and relaxed, right, at some point, maybe more toward the end, but not in the getting there, right? Not in the getting there. And so it's sort of like if you get on a plane, let me stay with the plane analogy today, and you've never been on a plane before, so you don't know this thing called turbulence. You have zero clue. You get on it and you're all happy. It's like, ooh, we're flying to Guadalupe. We're going to have a grand old time. And everything's like all smooth and dandy. Here come the flight attendants. Would you like anything to drink? And here comes the turbulence. And you'd never experienced it before. And B, nobody told you, nobody prepped you. Nobody said, listen, when you get up there, it's, 80%, it's always going to be smooth riding. However, There are times when the air pockets, when if a plane comes too close to another plane and it's flying in its wake, it could create turbulence. So you just think, oh my gosh, Jesus, take me, because you think you're gone now, because nobody told you. It's gonna get scary for me. I remember once this is when I was flying out to LA. I was going on we were doing a shoot for IBM. And I was on the plane with my creative director, Jim Consolano. Shout out to Jim. And when I tell you that plane felt like it dropped like 10,000 feet, that the cart was up in the roof, like literal, you know, when you're on a roller coaster and it goes up and it goes, and that's that feeling in your stomach and you're like, ah, like it's that sudden gravitational pull on your innards. Plane just dropped about 10,000 feet. Nobody even, I don't even know if I forget, even the captain even told us what the heck happened. I mean, Houston. So that 10,000 foot drop could be your entire tech goes out. You're doing your book launch, Dora. You're launching across the globe. You have streaming set up across the major cities, and tech goes out. Are you prepared? Are you ready? Can you handle that? Can you be resourceful enough to sort through that? Can you think quickly on your feet to think, how do we recoup this? Do we say we're going to take an hour intermission, get everybody's email who's on so we can notify them 15 minutes before we come back live? I mean, if you've never gone through something like that, you would have had no need to build that resourceful muscle part of your brain. Yeah. So because I've experienced a 10,000 foot drop, this is me. When I got on a plane. Oh, listen, first of all, most people are like, oh my gosh, I can't. Oh, listen, I can sleep on a plane. So I just get on, get myself sorted 9 times out of 10 now, because I'm smart like that. I travel with my Kindle, so I have all my books with me, so I don't have to be like reaching for the magazine, even though I still will. And then I just read, and I'm chill. And the plane does that. This is just me, just still reading. Why? Because I've been through it, right? I've developed that resiliency in my brain that says, yeah, when the plane starts to shake, don't all of a sudden think it's kingdom come. It's turbulence. It's part of the process. It's okay, right? Nobody says, oh my gosh, if ever you get on a plane ride and it's not smooth 100%, like you're floating, there's something wrong. So use the same thinking for your business, for your brand. You're going to have some turbulence. But you have to be trained up in how to deal with turbulence. You have to be trained up. The flight attendants have to be trained up to like be strong in their core. So as they're still moving, you've seen those people? Amazing. Just moving down the aisle like it ain't nothing but a thing. And you're looking at them like, what in the world? It has to be like really, really, really strong for the pilot to say, we're going to suspend, cabin service. But for the most part, they're pouring. Would you like nuts or would you like chips? I mean, just doing their thing because they're trained up in it, right? They've been through it. So the struggle is there to help you. Like Dora said earlier, the struggle is there to help you. Don't run away from it. Don't avoid it. Don't try to journal it out of your life. Jim Rohn says, don't wish for it to be easy, wish for you to get better. Yes and yes. Because here's the thing with worrying about something is hard. Building a business is hard. Building a successful business is hard. Building a successful business that's transcending borders is hard. But being broke is also hard. Choose your hard. Somebody hashtag choose your hard. So we could say, oh no, there are too many uncertainties. It's taking too long for my business to be launched out into the stratosphere. It's taking too long. This isn't working. I'm going to give up. Okay. So if it's hard for you to have patience and rigor and discipline in the pursuit of your purpose, it's also hard being broke, because the inevitability will be you go back to a job that you hate. HubSpot, entrepreneur.com report, 70% of US workers hate their jobs. 70. So because you want easy and relaxed, because you want guaranteed money, because you're like, I'm going to just go back. But then guess what? You're going to be in that 70% that hates your job. And then what? Then now your life is miserable. Now your family is miserable because you come home with a bad attitude always, needing a drink just to get by, get through. In this life, you will have problems. Choose your hard. Because I can tell you from firsthand experience. So I launched my company in 2016. Officially founded it, got the paperwork and everything 2017. It has not been a cakewalk, but I would not change a thing. Because I absolutely love what I do. I am in flow every single day. Glory to God. But it's not been a cakewalk, right? It's not been easy. And so when I come on, I try to be super transparent to let you know, this is why I always tell the story about me and Melody. Because you might see me now like, oh my God, look at her like fancy blue microphone. She's all bougie with her orchids and her artwork. And my first event, Melody was the only person who bought anything from me for $297. And I paid thousands of dollars. So that technically would have been considered a failure. And I could have quit. I could have cried. I could have given up. I could have gone back to my guaranteed, which there is no such thing guaranteed, right? We understand this now. Recession is showing us there's no such thing as guaranteed. COVID has shown us there's no such thing as guaranteed. 9/11 has shown us there's no such thing. We've somehow bought into this fallacy, again, as David liked to say, magical thinking, that there is some prairie road upon which exist no gravel stones, no potholes, no nothing. And we're in pursuit of this magical road where everything's just going to be la joie de vivre. And the road, much like the yellow brick road, is a fantasy. You have to be ready to work. You have to be ready to do the work. You have to be ready to make the sacrifices, but you have to also be determined and resolved. And it's going to take some hardship in there. I'm telling you, do not be hoodwinked. Do not be hoodwinked into thinking there's joy out there. And if you could just find that joy road, life will be amazing. Meanwhile, what you need to be doing is staying on the road that you're on and build up your resolve, build up your determinedness, build up your stick-it-to-itiveness, build up your even though neverthelessness. I was on with a client the other day last week, and they were talking about wanting to create a new program, a new offering, and I said, what you really need to be doing is getting more people to learn about this one. Oh, but the money's not coming fast enough. I said, what you need to be doing is getting in front of more people to go through this program. Because this is what we're looking for, that magic bullet. Oh, I got to create something else that's going to be the When I put the price of the program at $97 for the AppSumo deal, I was like, oh my God, I'm going to be a millionaire by June. This thing is so inexpensive. Everybody and their mother is going to be buying this course and sending it as gifts. All the codes are going to be sold out. That has not been the case. And so if I was not strengthened in my resolve and my way of being, I would have locked into magical thinking, like just doing the math. Oh my God, 10,000 codes times 97. Oh my gosh. Right? So I tell you these things about what's happening in my life and my agency so you can see somebody that you know, a real person. You don't have to read about it. I'm telling you, it requires work. You must honor the work that needs to get done. You want to build upper body strength, right? And one of my goals is to be able to do pull-ups because I don't have super strong, upper body. Do you think I can just wish my way to upper body strength? Can I read magazines about women who are doing pull-ups on the beach with one hand? If I don't get in the gym and get under that bench press machine and start doing the work, I know after 2, I'm going to be in fire breathing. Right? Hard. Then you guys ever done some weight work and then the next day you can't bend your arm? You're like this, like a doll, walking around, can't reach nothing? Anybody or just me? Right? There is no amount of wishing and hoping and praying that I will develop upper body strength to the point where I can do, forget about one arm pull-ups, that I can even do, right? If I don't get under some heavy weights, if I don't stress this muscle, these muscles, the core, if I don't stress them to the point where they have to break down to rebuild. Does somebody know what I'm talking about? That the muscles have to break down to build back stronger. It's the same with your life. It's the same with your business. It's the same with anything. We're going to have to go through some things, but it's okay. It is okay. It is part of the plan. It is here to help you. See it as your Goliath. Without Goliath, that big, huge, hawking, 9-foot, uncircumcised Philistine, right? And you think back into biblical days and in the Jewish culture, being uncircumcised was no like small thing. Like that's like almost like blasphemy. So who does this uncircumcised Philistine think he is talking about? And little David, shepherd boy David, who was guarding his few sheep, they try to diss him, Charlie call him out his name, who's watching your few sheep, saw the goal, saw what needed to be done, didn't think, oh my gosh, okay, wait a minute now. So this dude is like 9 feet and I'm like kind of down here and he's got on like 100,000 pounds of armor and I'm just like in my shepherd's coat and I only have a slingshot and 5 smooth stones. So this is going to be a problem. So I'm going to need to take a break. I'm going to pause. I'm going to go think about it. I'm going to go pray on it. He just called on the name of the Lord and ran toward his problem, ran toward his struggle. It's the same thing. Your Goliaths are there to help you, to build you, to bring you fame and fortune. See King David example if you don't know what I'm talking about. It's there to build you. So I'm going to wrap us. Let me know this week. Okay, so let me do a little housekeeping thing. So I'm actually going to be taking the rest of the week off. Why? No, I'm not going to Guadalupe. I am actually in the second phase of my leadership program. And so it's going to go from midnight till Lord knows 1 a.m. in the morning. You get some food break and some dinner break, but it's just like work, work, work. So so this is an example of, I could say, I mean, don't they understand that people have lives, that people have work? And, I can't just be like clearing my entire schedule for the rest of I either want to get where I say I want to get to and am willing to make the sacrifices and do what is required of me, or I don't. Because guess what? Free will. So you don't want to make any major changes in your life to sort of like disrupt. You know what it's like, the circuitry. Sometimes you got to like shock it and get it on a new cycle, get it in a new rhythm. That's what I'm doing for myself, my business, my company, my agency, getting it on a new rhythm. We've got to shock the system by doing this level of work. And so this, I'm telling you, I'm not doing anything that I'm not asking you to do. When I say get into coaching, when I say get into the accelerator program and learn, it's because I understand the value of being coached, right? I'm taking off a full week. And last week or the week before, it was 3 days, same 12 to midnight. Do you think it was easy? Oh my goodness. Pushed me beyond. But we have to be pushed. We have to be pushed so we can crack open, right? To see. Think about a pearl, how a pearl is formed in a clam. It's not just there. It's the sand and the irritation and the clam trying to get the sand out, and that whole liquid or whatever the clam ooze forms a brilliantly beautiful, magnificent pearl that costs, don't go get you some Tahitian pearls now, honey. Those things will be like, come with the black card. But that's what you're creating through your struggle. Be the clam. Create some magnificent, beautiful, bad to the bone, fashionable pearls in your life. But it's going to take a little bit of irritation. It's going to take a little bit of struggle, and it's all okay. God's got you. He's not going to give you more than you can handle. And if you ever feel like he did, he's going to send the people you need to help you. You are good. All is well with you. So I will not be seeing you guys for the rest of the week, at least not here in the Brand Momentum morning show. So take the time to replay. If you're just joining the show, you can go back to the January episodes and get caught up. And we did some great work with the War of Art about resistance. That's where we first introduced Good Time Tina. You'll get to know a lot about her when you hear other people talking about who is this Good Time Tina. You'll understand the reference point. But stay active, even when I'm not here, right? You know, that section in the Bible where it says, you want to keep working. Don't think, oh, the master is gone. It's like, ooh, let me kick back. Let me watch some soaps, some telenovelas. You want to stay in momentum. You want to stay reading. You want to go get some of these books. You want to go review work that we've done together. And if you're not in the accelerator, then go ahead and comment accelerator below in your comment section. You will get information in your messenger. It's $97, guys, for a lifetime. One-time pay of $97, and you're in with me for life. As long as I breathe and you breathe, you're in the accelerator program. You're hashtag Faith for Life. Melody is hashtag Faith for Life. Deb is hashtag Faith for Life. Brenda is hashtag Faith for Life. I can't remember who else is on with me now. But the accelerators, when they get in, because of this AppSumo, right? Shout out for the AppSumo deal. It's Faith for Life. So that means when Accelerator 2.0 course gets loaded, they all get it. They don't pay anymore. We're getting ready to do March Madness challenge in our private group. They get all that work. So go ahead and comment accelerator below. And if there are questions, go ahead and post them in the thread. I will see you guys live the week after. Pray for me. I did my food prep, which actually was really good. And see, these are things that'll happen. Like good things come out of when you're struggling. It's like, oh my gosh, here's this thing. It's coming back again. Because it's intense, man. You're not in your chair when that clock hits noon and they're like, oh, pull you out and go have a chat with a coach about your lack of integrity to your word. What, ma'am? Oh no, you're not pulling me out, honey. So I am like, ooh, seated and accounted for. But it's teaching you of all the things, just a new way of being, honoring your word and just really being in integrity, and just so many good things that you need, that I know I need to have to go next level. So I love you guys so much. Susan, absolutely brilliant. Let me know if you don't get something in your Facebook Messenger, but that should automatically be sent to you. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys for all your support. It is my great joy and pleasure to serve you. Have a wonderful day. It's a beautiful Monday here in South Florida. I don't know where you guys are. Hopefully, for those of you that are still dealing with inclement weather or freezing temperatures, we're praying for you. We're sending you love and light, and just know that all will be well. All will be well with you. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
No one ever sees me, I'm losing every battle. No one ever sees me.